What's going on, guys? TKD123, officially TKD123. As you can see in the YouTube URL, there's a little quick changer. I felt like it wasn't, needing a full entire separate video because you guys would still stay subscribed if you are subscribed to the channel. It's just that the URL just changed. So I am officially TKD123 back at a video, and today we're going to discuss the album review of this week. Of course, we all know, or if you don't know, every week on the channel we all go through one album that we listen to throughout the week, and sometimes we double up, but the double up is a little bit more of a hidden thing, I keep for myself just in case you don't want to throw it out there. But the main one we do is definitely going to be starting on Mondays. Usually I tweet it out and you'll be able to listen to it, and you go through the entire week with me as well, listen to it, and view my final thoughts here at the end of the week. But today we're going over a new artist here. He's got a really big hit out. A lot of people love the song Caroline, and this week we are reviewing Aminé's Good For You. Now, this album is 15 songs and topping out at 52 minutes, so definitely a nice size album, not too big, not too small. Again, my main sweet area where it's about an hour, either under it or a little bit above it, right in that sweet spot of just an hour. And we have a few features here that are pretty good, but not the most fleshed out features list. We have Nelly, Offset, Ty Dolla $ign, and then Kalani to wrap up with the bonus track at the end, along with Charlie Wilson as well. I'm not 100% sure who is Charlie Wilson. Never really, heard of him, to that much of a degree. But Charlie Wilson is also here on this project. Now, this album really did swing under my radar, for a lot of reasons, right? Of course, we've had a lot of really good hip hop albums lately. We've had a lot of great R&B albums as well. So definitely there was a lot to take in over these past few weeks. But I haven't really explored Aminé other than the song Caroline that he, is pretty much famous for at this point. A lot of people love that song, and that's how I knew him initially, and so going into this album, I had, really no expectations. I liked the song Caroline, and I was maybe expecting, just kind of a repetitious type of, tone to that song across the whole entire album. I feel like maybe that was the style, but I was pleasantly surprised and pleasantly wrong. This album, from even the first grab, because a lot of times, the first listen on albums, they don't really hook you, right? That happens to me a lot, and it takes, for me a little bit longer for me to really enjoy an album and really get my hooks in it. But this one, it took absolutely no time at all, right? There was something about this album that keeps me so drawn to it, right? It is on the same level as Control that we did in the beginning of the June month and all that stuff like that, where we had Control, SZA's review and everything, stuff like that. And that album grabbed me in the same exact way as this one is starting to grab me. I feel like I'm going to be definitely grabbed by this album. This will definitely be a part of my permanent library. It'll be, a album that I listen to frequently on a day-to-day basis or whatever, or maybe even on a weekly basis, what I'm saying? Even to this day, I'm still listening to Control by SZA. And next week, people, we're going to her concert, guys, so get hyped for that vlog, get hyped for that. But back on topic, let's talk a little bit more about Good For You. And I want to bring up something that I kept thinking about, while listening to this album this week, right? And it's that, this album not only sounds good, not only has really interesting instrumentals, not only has great features where they actually complement the song and they actually have a purpose in the song, not just to be a feature, right? Because we have some features where it's just like, oh, let's just have this guy on the album, make sure that he's on it, to add a little bit more buzz to it. But these features here on this album really do add to the songs that they're on. They really do have a point, they really do have a purpose here, and it definitely is nice to see that as well. But the one word that I kept thinking about in my head, and what I kept thinking about when I was describing it to other people, right, and how I would use this word when describing this album initially and still even right now, is that this album is just fun. What I'm saying? This album is just pure fun to listen to. It sounds a little weird. It sounds like, it's such a quirky, such a weird word to describe. I just touched the thing. But a really weird word to, kind of describe an album. But this album is just genuinely fun to me. What I'm saying? That there are so many just great moments in this where, kind of feel the beat build up and then it drops, and it's so satisfying. And out of this whole project, by far, my favorite song here is Hero, track 4. That beat drop, oh my god, it feels like, it tenses up, and then it just drops into a nice calm abyss, and I love it. I love Hero overall. It's a great song. Definitely is one of my favorites, if not, honestly, it is my favorite song on this whole entire project. And then we have really interesting instrumental use, with this, because I in the same vein applauded Control for this on the track where I forgot what exactly called in my head right now. On the song Anything on her album on Control, I applauded the instrumental use in that song because, it was something that you've heard before, right? Like, it was the little, buzz does you feel when you're trying to plug in a audio jack into, you know, some sort of device, and it makes a feedback sound that, you know, it's kind of like it's not all the way plugged in, but it's kind of plugged in, that like lower toned you know what I'm saying, like that. They use that sound in the instrumental, and it was just such an interesting way to use, you know, a regular sound you hear every day, and it's in the instrumental. But then with this one, you know, with this album, right, specifically on the track Wedding Crashes with Offset, you know, there's a nice little like kid playful type of tone that you've heard before, you know what I'm saying, and they use it in such a great way in this, and I love the way they use it. And also in this same album, there's a point, you know, towards the end of it, I forgot exactly where it's at, but there's a point where they play the Amber Alert tone that we all have on our phones. We all know that sound, like we all know the sound of Amber Alert, right? And they use that sound in the actual instrumental, and it's just, you know, like having those things adds a little bit of like, those are the hooks, you know what I'm saying? Like when a album can, you know, introduce itself and give me something to hook into, and give me something that, oh wait, I know that sound, when it can draw my attention in that way, that is what I feel kind of the key to making an album that is above good, is above great, it is on another level, you know. And you know, this album just keeps doing it, you know, it keeps over and over with the track Slide. The track Slide, it is so reminiscent to the Social Experiment, you know what I'm saying, with that whole project with Surf, with that album, you know, it had like a very, very summer vibe to it and everything, and the song Slide here definitely does reminisce and really does take me back to that project, right? It's just such a great like this whole thing, man, it's just a great uplifting, you know, R&B album, and it's crazy that this is from a artist that this is his debut album at that, right? It is crazy to think that, you know, we have a song from him that's super big right now, Caroline, and then to put out an album where Caroline somehow fits in this whole thing, and it's so different from everything else. It's so much different from, you know, anything else on the album, and it's just that this album, you know, even when like talking about that, feels so balanced. It feels such a nice encompassing album, you know. It's such a great thing here. And yo, you listen to this, you know, one time, you will get heebie-jeebies stuck in your mind, you will get Spice Girls stuck in your mind, like you'll get so many of these really, really good gems, you know, in your, and I feel like also there is no skippable tracks here, you know what I'm saying? Like there, you know, we've all had albums where it's like, you know, there's filler tracks, there's tracks over, you know, here and there, and it's like, you know, these are okay to skip. In this album, I have yet to find something that I want to skip, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing here I want to skip, and that is super telling, guys. This album should not be slept on. I slept on that for like a few weeks here and there, you know what I'm saying? I apologize for that, because, you know, I again apologize the same way for sleeping on SZA all these years. And you know, him right here, he has a couple mixtapes, I think an EP out as well. So you know, I pledge allegiance to my flag here that I will not be you know, sleeping on any anime projects going forward, because this guy is on their level. This album is great. I'm in love with the sound of it. It's just such a fun, upbeat album that, you know, definitely is in the running for R&B. Listen, it just got real, man. Look, you know, SZA had to unlock pretty much, right? SZA had to unlock with Control pretty much for me back in June that, yo, this is R&B album of the year. Like, I'm sorry, like it is gonna take a lot for someone to beat SZA right here, you know what I'm saying? And then we got Elijah Blake. And then we got this, you know what I'm saying? And then we might even get the Johnny Rain project that we've been waiting on as well. Like, oh man, like, dude, this is gonna be tough, guys. This is gonna be tough, but this is definitely in the running for R&B album of the year. And really, you know, kind of right now, how I'm feeling right now, and I feel like this won't go away. I feel like it might be just up to SZA and Anime right now. These two are basically neck and neck for me, and I just, man, shout out to music, man. It's just been great overall, man. So definitely please check out Good For You, Anime's debut album. It is out on all streaming services, I believe, and for purchase as well. Make sure to check out Anime Good For You. I thoroughly enjoyed this project, loved it with, you know, every fiber of me, and I would definitely be still bumping this a few months down the road, a few weeks down the road, and definitely will be definitely attached to this album moving forward. And on that note, that is all I got for you all. If you're wondering, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share down below. I appreciate the video. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.